Okay, hopefully this is what you've got. All right, let's see what else. Okay, so we need to begin with a claim. You have taken all 40 of your note cards by now, and your assignment for Wednesday morning was to try to come up with a preliminary thesis statement, which is a statement of what you hope to claim in your paper, what claim you're trying to prove. And for purposes of example, I am going to come up with sort of a silly way that we're going to build this outline. I'm going to come up with a silly topic. My topic is going to be, I want to prove that let's see here. I want to prove that my mom and dad should let me borrow the car on Friday night. Okay, so that is going to be sort of my informally stated thesis statement. You had a place on your thesis statement document where you were supposed to state that informally. So I'm just going to leave it right there in my introduction for now, and that is the only thing that I'm going to do with my introduction. I'm going to come back to write the rest of the introductory paragraph later, but this is going to be my thesis statement, okay? I'm just gonna leave it the way it is right now. So I have to prove this point somehow. You know, my parents are kind of tough, and they're gonna really need to be convinced of this. In fact, I may need three sub-claims to back up my thesis statement and prove to my folks that I should be able to borrow the car on Friday night to go out with my friends. So why three things that they're gonna need to believe me on my thesis statement? Well, because three is just sort of a magic number. There's really no great reason as to why three is the number of points that you need to convince somebody. It just kind of is. So it's sort of the magic number. Three is the magic number. So before I can come up with what my subclaims are, I got to look at my data. What kind of data do I have, huh? All right, well, I took a lot of notes on my own behavior over the last several weeks, and this is what I have come up with. So here's all my data. Oh, okay. My room's clean and tidy. All right. I got no tickets. That's good. I am not driving anybody else. Okay, good. My friends are good students. I have hardly any felony convictions. That's always good. I help mom carrying the grocery and the A's and B's. Okay. So I've been a pretty good kid lately. So I think that with this data, I can probably come up with some pretty good reasons as to why they should let me borrow the car on Friday night. And I think I'll be able to convince them. But I got this big pile of data, and I've got to organize it somehow. So as I look at all my data, this might be more than I need. Let's see if I can come up with different categories for my data. Let's see. Okay, so this one says that my room is clean and tidy. Is there anything else that says that I'm being a good kid at home? Okay, I walk the dog without being asked, so I'm going to move that up. Let's see, what else? How else have I been good at home? I've come home on time for a solid month. I've got no late curfews. That's good. I help mom carrying the groceries. Oh, she likes when I do that. Okay. All right. So that's good. I've got all A's and B's in school. Oh, that's nice too. Ooh, I wrote thank you notes to my grandparents for my birthday presents. God, I hate doing that, but I really like getting birthday presents. I better write the thank you notes. Okay. What else? All right. Driving. Oh, some of these are about driving. So now I've got I aced my driving test. I've got no accidents or tickets thus far. I'm not going to drive anybody else. I know they don't like you to drive anybody else when you're just getting your driver's license. My friends are good students. Okay, so that's not really about me. That's sort of about the kids that I hang out with. But it is kind of about education. So maybe I'll move this A's and B's in school thing down here with my friends who are good students. See, none of the rest of this stuff is about education. Okay, so I kind of, this felony convictions thing one. Maybe I don't need that piece of data. Maybe that's not suddenly relevant anymore. So I think I'm going to leave that out. I'll just go ahead and cross it out, leave it right there. Some of these I might, let's see, I might not end up using them, but it's good to have them. So my data kind of seems to separate itself into a couple of different categories. Let's see, this category seems to be about being a good driver. Yeah, that would be a claim that I could make, and these are my pieces of data to back up that I'm a good driver. Okay, let's see. I am very responsible, it looks like. From my data, I can see that I'm very responsible. So I think I'm going to put in that I'm responsible. Let's see, I got my room clean and tidy. I walk the dog every day. I haven't even been asked. I've come home. I've met my curfew requirements for the last month. You guys may be laughing at me. I don't know if you have curfews, but I had a serious curfew. If I was a minute late, I was in trouble. Uh, let's see. And then my friends are good students. I have all A's and B's in school. I think I'm gonna move these things down to be with these ideas here, and I'm gonna use the claim that, you know what, I'm just a nice kid. All right, so those are my three categories of information, and I can kind of build, let's get that out of the way. I can kind of build my subclaims based on my data in this way. Cool. Yeah, that sounds great. So my subclaim 1 up here is going to be that I am responsible. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and paste that into my body paragraph subclaim 1. I am responsible. All right, cool. So that's my Roman numeral 2 is that my first subclaim, that I'm responsible. My next one, I think I'm going to do the nice kid thing next because I'll save the driving stuff for the end. I could put it in the middle. I don't know. I may decide to move that around, but for now, I'm just going to leave it as my second subclaim. And finally, for being a good driver, I'm going to make that subclaim number 3. That I'm a good driver. Oops, I forgot my colon. Okay, all right, so I'm a good driver. So I've got my claims in here now that I'm responsible, I'm a nice kid, and I'm a good driver. So the next thing that I need to do is make space for my data. And I find that when I'm writing an outline for this kind of paper, it's best if my Roman numerals become my claims and my subclaims. And for my capital letters, my very next level of my outline to be my data. So when I go from I am responsible and I make that and I make that the next line and I hit tab, I move it over and I get an A. I don't want A to be blue though, so I'm going to change my color to red. I'm going to not make that bold. Okay, so now I'm ready to put in some of my data. So I can just cut that and paste it right in there, that I walk the dog every day, dun, 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 that I've met my curfew. Okay, so I've got 3 pieces of data there in body paragraph 1, subclaim 1, that I am responsible. And just to make it a little bit easier to see, I'm going to move my data, or my claims rather, over to where the Roman numerals are so that they're nice and easy for me to see. I don't have all this introductory stuff going on here. Okay, there I go. All right, I got my conclusion. Okay, all right, well, I have to do the same thing with the other things, okay, with the other body paragraphs. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. How you guys doing? You hanging in there? We're at 15 minutes. That's a long time to listen to me talk. But at least this way you can make me shut up and you can go get a snack or something in the middle of what we're doing here. That helps, right? Yeah, and plus this is less that I'm going to have to talk in class. Hopefully. Lord knows if you guys are going to even see this in time, though. So maybe in the future we'll do a better job of this. And by we, I mean me, of course. I feel pretty goofy doing this, by the way. I'm kind of new to this video thing. You'll have to tell me if this works and if it helps you out. Whoops, got the cursor in the wrong place there. Okay, so I'm going to get all my data in here, and great, I am organized in my information right now. God, this was really easy. Wow, this outline kind of grows from the center out. It is not a top-down thing. I didn't write the word introduction and then put in my thesis statement and then go to Roman numeral 2 and come up with I am responsible as a claim and then write all my claim statements. I'm not writing this from the top down like maybe you're used to doing. Instead, I'm starting with stage 1. And now I've moved into stage 2, where I have my claims and I have my data in here. So right now my outline is only blue and red. Say we've gone into stage 2. All right. We started with stage 1, where we just put in our claims. And what we figured out here is that when we categorized our data, we realized that every single piece of data has to fit into one category, and every category has to fit into one subclaim. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't go in the paper. I decided that my felony convictions were not going to help me convince mom and dad to let me borrow the car. So I decided that that piece of data was not going to go into my paper. All right, you have 40 note cards. You're not going to get 40 facts into your paper, at least not all 40. You may, some of you are a little ambitious, you may get a lot of them in there, but you're not going to get them all in there, okay? All right, so we've got, oh, here's another thing. Right now, these are not complete sentences. I can choose to leave my outline not in complete sentences, and that's okay. Or I may decide to put them in complete sentences. So that would be an easy fix. You know what? I might go ahead and do that. Let me do that for a couple of these. I might say, my room is clean and tidy and has been for a month. Solid. I might say, I walk the dog every day after school, and I did it without being asked, period. And finally, I have come home on time for a solid month, which means I've had no late curfews. So now it's pretty easy. Now my data are all in sentence form instead of in phrase form. Okay? My claims, well, they're not awesome. They're only a couple of words long, but those are actually complete sentences in their own right. I may clean those up later, but for now they are sentences. Okay, cool. I'm going to stop this here. And I want you to try this with your own outline and be ready to talk about this tomorrow in class. Make sure that you bring any questions that you may have, and you can go back and rewatch any part of this as much as you want in order to help yourself understand it. You can even do it with the sound off. That's certainly how I would do it, especially if I understood everything already, because I get a little tired of my voice, and I'm sure you do too. So here we are. It's been 20 minutes. Hopefully you survived. Hopefully you were comfortable and you were able to rewind where you needed to. And great, we'll add warrant at a future date. And I will end this now and see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.